Bem-vindos ao Here's the Thing, é um programa semanal que nós fazemos para informar a nossa audiência de casos de importância e tópicos que são relevantes para a nossa comunidade. E então cá estamos mais uma vez, bem-vindos ao programa chamado outra vez Here is a Thing, aqui estão as coisas. E então hoje temos um convidado muito especial que vem do ramo de ensino e então vamos falar com ele com respeito a vários tópicos que realmente o ensino está nas notícias todos os dias, quase 24 horas por dia, e então eu acho que vale a pena explorar um pouco este tópico que é sempre muito importante para os pais e para famílias que têm filhos na escola e para aqueles que realmente trabalham na escola e estão envolvidos em escolas. O nosso convidado é o Sr. Norbert Costa. He's a centrally assigned principal in continuing education in the Toronto District School Board. And you know, I'm going to start, Norbert, with a simple question because you know you've been involved in school work for many years. Involved in the Portuguese community, but I at times like this I always like to ask my guests, you know, how are you coping with both COVID and the challenges of school and the challenges of implementing programs that are probably very new to you and to many other people at a time that you know there's certainly chaos in all aspects of our lives. How are you coping personally?
Well, it certainly is a challenge, but being an educator and a lifelong learner, I think that this also, you can look at it as a challenge, you can look at it as an opportunity. And I think myself and my colleagues and the whole Toronto District School Board is looking at it as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to continue to provide education to our learners,
yep.
and to provide it in a different way. Traditionally, we're faced with
the traditional ways are being thrown out of the window in every aspect, right?
100%. But you know what? Again, it's an opportunity to say, okay, let's embrace the technology. Let's embrace, and certainly there are challenges, and we're learning from them every day. And then we're working to solve it so that in the end, our focus is always on student success.
Implementing so many new things, so much new technology and reassigning people and moving people around and so on. Do you think once the pandemic is over, we'll ever go back to the normal way of doing things in schoolwork, especially after all of this work in restructuring the entire system is put in place?
Well, it's a great question. I think a lot of there is that traditional learning method, and and what we've done in schools in the past. But certainly, the experience we've had over the last 6 or 7 months is certainly going to have an impact on how we move forward in terms of the use of technology, the mode of teaching, the mode of learning, and we're always doing the best we can to support our students.
Well, yeah, I really don't think we'll ever go back to the old ways because of all the technology and everything else that's been implemented and the safety aspects that are being put in place. I mean, it's in all my years in Canada, which is over 50, I've never seen such a radical change, and both in mentally on how we approach things and the messaging to the population and to students to change their behavior, because in a way that's what we're trying to do, is to change people's behaviors. It's not about learning. To change behaviors, especially after you're a certain age, must not be easy, and I'm sure that the school board has a huge challenge in changing behaviors of students as you try to insert them into various categories and various systems.
Well, it is a challenge. We work with the Ministry of Education, work with the Toronto Public Health to ensure the safety of all of our students, and we do the best we can. And certainly moving forward, and when we look back in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, this is certainly something that's going to be impactful in history, not just for Toronto or Ontario or Canada, but the world. And certainly the challenges we're facing will impact how we teach, how we learn, but it'll also, not just here, but right across the world as well.
There seems to be a lot of pushback from teachers in many aspects about, they're concerned about their safety, they're concerned about their placement to teach and how things are being implemented and so on. Do you feel that the government is being reasonable to, and the unions are being reasonable to teachers, to give them the proper tools that they need to put programs in place and to teach effectively, so that it's not a waste of time in pretending that actual curriculum is being taught? Do you think the teachers have the right tools, and do you think that their fear about their protection and so on kind of overlaps certain things that are going on?
Well, there's been a lot of thought and process put in place to ensure the safety of all our staff and our students. And we work, I know that we're working closely with Toronto Public Health to ensure that all public safety measures are put in place to ensure the safety of students, staff, and all employees in the board.
Well, we're here today to also speak a little bit about Portuguese programs within the Toronto District School Board and culture. I think we're combining both Portuguese culture and the Toronto District School Board, which a lot of people really may not be aware that there are a variety of programs that for teaching Portuguese as a second language, and now we are implementing a new program which embraces culture and so on, which we're gonna be talking about. Last week's Millennium Stadium, which is our Portuguese newspaper in the community, we covered exactly that: culture, language, and how it should be implemented, and who should be pushing it, and what's the most effective way of pushing Portuguese culture so it doesn't die. And we covered it extensively, and the difference in consensus from various people is still amazes me on how people perceive culture and how it should be taught so that the younger generation doesn't lose it. How do you view overall Portuguese culture in Canada?